This is the book of Revelation 19 and verse 20. Revelation 19 and 20, the doom of the beast and the false prophet. And it reads, "And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire, burning with brimstone. All praises to the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Barakim La, Allah Hayanawa Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakak Wadash, double honor, them Yah to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who are the true teachers of Israel today. Peace, love, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Habayah from Adabada, the house of David, the brothers laboring to make their calling of election sure, day in and day out, helping seal the elect of the nation of Israel, for the return of our Lord and Mashiach Yahushai is at hand, and to the Akim and Akwafim, the brothers and sisters who also listen and believe on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. To you, I say shalom as well. So shalom to the hopeful elect. Back at it again with another lesson through the Spirit, Lord willing. This lesson is edifying for those that have eyes to see and ears to hear through the Rakak Kodash, which is the Holy Spirit. So the premise of this lesson is going to be getting into the false prophet in the Bible, which is Christianity. But, the vine of it being, the center of it being, Catholicism, headed by the Pope, but the false prophet being, the Roman Catholicism and Christianity, which is one of the main branches, So that's what this lesson is going to be predominantly getting into. As you see on the screen, this article is from www.ky3.com, and it's dated July the 21st, 2021. And the title here, it says, Missouri church leaders implore congregants to get the jab, to get the max. So it's the push for the max, which through predictive programming, is a continual push for the people, to get on board and to get in league with doing whatever the government says to do, which ultimately is going to be to get the chip as they push for the reset, of this society. So now I'm going to get into the article. It says O'Fallon, Missouri, AP, Associated Press. It's from the Associated Press. It says, as lead pastor of one of Missouri's largest churches, Jeremy Johnson has heard all the reasons congregants don't want to get the Crown 19 max. He wants them to know it's not only okay to do so, but also is what the Bible urges. So you see the lies that's being promoted and being propagated by the false prophet. And that's what the false prophet does. It deceives people. He's the biggest deceiver on the planet. So they're saying that this is biblical, which clearly, when you read throughout the Bible, those that have eyes to see, ears to hear, those who are truly woke, know that the Bible speaks, very clearly against, getting any marks in your body, etc. But this lesson is going to go more into, the fact of the false prophet, how he's speaking loud and clear. Now it says across Missouri, hundreds of pastors, priests, and other church leaders are reaching out to urge vaccinations in a state under siege from the new Crown 19. Health experts say the spread is due largely to low max rates. Missouri lags about 10 percentage points behind the national average for people who have initiated the jab. Now, many churches in southwestern Missouri, like Johnson's North Point Church, are hosting max clinics. So they're hosting clinics, pushing forth the people to come and get the max. Meanwhile, more than 200 church leaders have signed onto a statement urging Christians to get vaccinated. So they're using that big bullhorn, to push for Christians, it said, to get the max. So 2/3 of our people fall in line with this, because they identify and they are one with this culture. So being a Christian, is a part of Western culture, Many people identify with being a Christian. It says, and on Wednesday announced a follow-up public service campaign that will include paid advertisement. We know that's the elites and the higher-ups, those in the upper echelons of government and in society. But more specifically, the elites pushing this. They're paying, doing the advertisement to do what? To continue the full court press to get in the max. It says, vaccine hesitancy in our pews puts our congregations and communities at greater risk. So you see that it's being said, throughout every facet and form of this society, which is that everybody, those who don't get the max, are at risk. Fauci came out recently and said you have two Americas. You have those that are vaccinated and you have those that are not. So that push is all, in the all in the name of safety, so to speak. So it says safety and availability. Receiving a max is an easy way of living out Jesus's command to love your neighbor as yourself. So we see clearly that the false prophet is speaking loud and clear. The statement reads, citing a verse in Mark chapter 12. Opposition to the max is especially strong among white evangelical Protestants who make up more than 1/3 of Missouri's residents. According to a 2019 report by Pew Research Center, a March poll conducted by the Associated Press and NORC, Center for Public Affairs Research, found that nationally 40% of white evangelical Protestants said that they were unlikely to get the max, compared with 25% of all Americans. Johnson, whose Springfield-based Assembly of God Church has 3 campuses and will soon open a 4th. So we see the business that is the modern-day Christian church and Catholic Church. It said the New Testament includes dozens of references urging people to serve one another, and getting the max is a way to do that. So we see the lies continually being promoted and propagated, which is what? Getting into the false prophets a campaign. This is really them campaigning, campaigning and pushing, nothing but deception, seducing the people. So now, continuing on, it says Springfield, Missouri's third largest city with 167,000 residents. It's home to the U.S. Assemblies of God National Office and is the heart of a deeply religious region. Mayor Kay McClure noted that when the pastor at a large Assembly of God church recently preached about the need for the vaccinations, large crowds turned out the next day to get the max. So we see that's being pushed, and we understand that that's through deception. So now, before I get back to Revelation 19, matter of fact, I'll just go back there and jump into it. Revelation 19:20, it says, and the beast was taken, meaning the beast system is going to be destroyed by Yahushua. And this is going to take place, during World War III. And the beast was taken, meaning destroyed, taken out of the way. And with him, the false prophet. The false prophet, once again, is the Christian church and the Roman Catholic Church. They make up the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that have received the mark of the beast. So deception. So we see the lies. We see the campaign of lies being pushed, And that campaign of lies is their tongue, which is the sword as well. Their media. So it says it deceived them. It deceived them that receive the mark, the M-A-R-K, the M-O-B. And them that worship his image, those that worship the image of the beast, is those who take that branding, that take that stamp, that take the M-O-B. That's worshiping, being aligned with the beast. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. Now, what is that speaking of? Revelation 20, in verse 14, it says, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. The first death was the flood. The second death is going to be that flood of fire, which is going to be the missiles that's going to hit Babylon the Great in World War III, along with the Lord and the angels coming back, destroying this place and taking rulership from Esau. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So that's the second death. Revelation 20:15, and whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. That whosoever, when you read Acts 13:26, speaking of those of the stock of Abraham, of the righteous line going down through Isaac. Because it says in Acts 13:26, whosoever among you feareth the Most High, to you is the word of the salvation sent. So whosoever is speaking about the elect, whosoever of the elect, which is only the elect, was not found written in the book of life, which is the 2/3. So whosoever, the nation of Israel, is speaking about the 2/3, because their names would not be found written in the book of life, nor will the heathen or the wicked. It says was cast into the lake of fire. So let's go back to Revelation 19. Revelation 19, the bottom part, Revelation 19:20, the bottom part of that verse, it says, with which he deceived them that received the mark of the beast and them that worship his image. These were both cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. So that's making reference, to, the heathen, the wicked, and 2/3 of the nation of Israel. These are all the ones that will not be in receipt of salvation. Thus saith the scriptures. So those are the ones that are going to be cast alive, or burned here in Babylon, that won't get beamed up on the chariots. So now, when you look up the word false prophet in Revelation 19:20, it goes into the word G5578. And that word false prophet is one who acts the part of a divinely inspired prophet. So one who's acting. And Esau is that one who's acting as if he's righteous, as if he's doing the work of the Most High, as if he's a righteous vessel of light. That's why the elites call themselves or are known as the Illuminati, the enlightened ones, which truly the children of Israel, the elect, are the children of light. They're the children of the night. They're the children of darkness. So this is one who's acting the part of a divinely inspired prophet, one that utters falsehoods under the name of divine prophecies. So they utter falsehoods, tell lies, promote what? Western culture, Western theology, which is Christianity and Catholicism. It's Western theology. It's not the true teachers of the Bible. The only true teachers of the Bible are the men, of the Lord that's on the four corners of the earth, that's out giving you this truth according to the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So now, the false prophet is set up to lie, to lie and to deceive. We've heard those words lie and deceive being used. Quick precept, Revelation 2:20, notwithstanding, I have a few things against thee, because thou sufferest that woman Jezebel, which Babylon, the whore, the great whore, could be put in the stead of Jezebel. It says, which calleth herself a prophetess, to teach and to seduce my servants. See, Babylon is doing that now, teaching our people the ways of wickedness and seducing them, which is lying, tricking them. Because it tells you in Wisdom of Solomon 4:12, that the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest. And the wandering of concupiscence doth undermine the simple mind, meaning, our people are bewitched, meaning being put under a spell, which right here it says to teach and to seduce my servants, here in Revelation 2:20, are the servants of the Most High, truly are the elect now, but the 2/3 are the ones that's being seduced. It says to commit fornication and to eat things sacrificed unto idols, to go into the ways of the world. So now, let's continue to show that these false prophets, and the main false prophet, which underneath that umbrella of the false prophets, this false prophet has his minions, which those minions are what? These entertainers and athletes and people within the society who push and support the system, that push Christianity and the ways of the world and try to get everyone to come together and be one, which Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is totally against, because Yahweh Shah said he came not to bring peace, but a sword and division. So let's continue to see who these false prophets are. So through the precepts, we'll get the understanding. Jeremiah 3:15, And it reads, and I will give you pastors according to mine heart. So what's the heart of the Lord? His word, his mind, his face, which is this word. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which is according to his will, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. So only the true men of the Lord, are set up to give you that and to do that and to accomplish such a task, which is to be the true leaders and shepherds of the Lord. And by giving you his word and teaching you, according to the scriptures, not according to theology, Western theology, and the dogma of this world. So now, let's get another precept that's going into that. The Lord saying that he would give you pastors according to his heart, not according to the world. Now, what are the pastors according to the Lord's heart going to do? They're going to give you the truth, the pure, unadulterated truth. Isaiah 8:20, to the law and to the testimony, and the testimony is the testimony of Yahushua, which is the spirit of prophecy. If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them, and the light is symbolic to the truth. In the Hebrew is the Yawar. So this light is the truth. There's no truth in them if they don't speak according to this word. The Bible tells you, if any man speak, let him speak the oracles of the Most High. So the false prophet is not speaking according to this word. He's deceiving and seducing and misleading the people, which it tells you in Jeremiah 23, a chapter, devoted to the false prophets. It says that they've scattered the sheep. And how have they scattered the sheep? By driving them away from righteousness, from truth. So, continuing on, the pastors of the Lord are the ones that are speaking according to his word, according to his heart. So now, let's get another precept that's going into the false prophets, the false prophets who are scattering the sheep. Jeremiah 5:7, it says, How shall I pardon thee for this? Thy children have forsaken me, which is 2/3 of the nation of Israel forsaking Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and sworn by them that are no gods, have went into the ways of Christianity, Catholicism, into Islam, Egyptology, the Kemetic beliefs, being, self-willed, self-serving, or just being in the ways of the world, believing in all sorts of philosophies that have nothing to do with the truth. They have omitted the Most High. It says, they have sworn by them that are no gods. When I have fed them to the full, they then committed adultery. How do people commit adultery? By playing the harlot, by going into all of the ways of the world and all of these different false gods that are no gods, as opposed to continuing in the covenant that was made, by Moses with blood, which is to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. They have committed adultery, going into the ways of the world, going into the different religions, and assembled themselves by troops in the harlot houses. And those harlot houses today is the Christian church, is the temples, the Christian church, the Catholic church, where you got people going in there, and there's plenty of jakes among them. There's no shortage, going in and asking mercy from a man, as opposed to through Yahushua. Through Yahweh Shem Yahushua, going into these churches, giving their money away, being deceived, praying to idols, praying to false gods. So the Lord said that they assemble themselves by troops in the harlot houses, showing you in this time that's been continually going on. Our people continually, assemble themselves in these churches, which are harlot houses, because spiritual fornication, spiritual adultery and spiritual fornication is going on, in these assemblies of people. So these are the harlot houses, once again, also known as the churches, the synagogues, and the temples today, where Jake is in there committing all forms of abominable acts, most notably praying to other gods and believing and calling on the name of gods. The Lord said, make no mention of other gods, and learn not the way of the heathen in Jeremiah the 10th chapter. So our people have fully submitted, and fully capitulated to the will of the wicked. So continuing on, these harlot houses, the scripture speak about, the Most High is not behind that. So if you calling yourself a Christian and you taking on the ways of the world and you believe in these religions, and that's damnation unto you. If you're keeping these holidays, these are all just sacrifices unto devils and not the Most High. So these harlot houses, once again, are the churches and the synagogues and the temples where Jake is in there, committing fornication. So now, Acts 7:48, the Most High is not with these churches. Here's the proof. Acts 7:48, howbeit the Most High, whose name is Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands, as saith the prophet. So these false prophets will say that God is here, and that this is the house of God, the assembly of God. Well, the scriptures say once again, Acts 7:48, howbeit the Most High dwelleth in temples not made with hands, as saith the prophet. Because the true temple of the Most High are his people, the believers. His believers. That's the true temple of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, is the believers. That's the spiritual third art. Let's get another precept supporting that. This is the book of 1 Corinthians 3:16. It says, know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, that ye, the believers, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you. So his Spirit dwells with the believers, which is the elect of Bacarium. So it says, know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High. So going down to 2 Corinthians 6:16, it says, and what agreement hath the temple of the Most High with idols, the righteous people? We have no agreement with the idols, which is, all these different gods that are no gods. The only true God is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, who's the God of the Israelites. So we must return to the Lord and worship him in spirit and in truth, which is according to his word, not according to, the ways of the world. It says, in what, 2 Corinthians 6:16, and what agreement hath the temple of the Most High with idols? For ye are the temple of the living power. As the Most High hath said, I dwell in them, he dwells in the believers, and walk in them, and I will be their power, and they shall be my people. So the elect are the true people of the Most High, the Israel of God, who've returned to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So two-thirds of the nation of Israel are condemned to damnation, to destruction, because they refuse to return, repent, and come back, to serving the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So those that are overtaken by the false prophet and the ways of the world, as this, continual media campaign will push forth throughout the earth, perpetually, and more, and become more aggressive. This message is really to the believers, to the Bacarium, the elect. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying the elect, that may see and continue to, be strengthened through the words and through this gospel, which gives us comfort. So Barakateh Yahweh, Barakateh Yahushai, Kol Haloyim La Yahweh, Wa Yahushai, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the God of the heavens and the earth, and of the 12 tribes of Israel. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you comprise the 12 tribes of Israel. Also not to exclude you Israelite foreigners, confusion of faith, brothers and sisters who scattered amongst the heathen. You are the true children of Israel according to the Bible. Double honor, Them Yad, as always, to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who are the true teachers of Israel today. Peace, love, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Habayath, Madawadah, the house of David. The brothers labor to make their calling of election sure. Help us seal the elect of the nation of Israel day in and day out. For the return of our Lord and Mashiach Yahushua is at hand. And to the Akim and Akwathim, the brothers and sisters who also listen and believe on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, to you I say shalom as well. So shalom to the hopeful elect.